Hello and welcome back. So what's new? Well, I've actually started working on my first Quantum Alchemy functional perfume. It's only the beginning. I'm beginning to just select what ingredients and the kind of storyline, if you like. It's part of my process. Really exciting. So lovely to be working in such a free way. I don't have a launch date, but obviously we'll keep you posted. It's also been my birthday and I've tried to stretch it out as much as I can, culminating with a wonderful swim at the Hampstead Ponds. What could be better than that on a sunny afternoon? Today we're going to talk about the vagus nerve, a fascinating gateway between the body, the nervous system and quantum consciousness. Now, if you'd like to subscribe, like, share and comment, that would be fantastic. Let's begin. So, to tell you where it travels to, it starts at the brainstem, moves all the way down from the ears across the neck, down through the chest, into the solar plexus and down into the gut. Now, what it does is it relays to the brainstem messages from the organs about what's happening in the body. So it really is like the Lone Ranger. Now, it's part of the autonomic nervous system, but specifically the parasympathetic nervous system. And the parasympathetic nervous system works mainly with the rest and digest function. The other branch of the autonomic nervous system is the sympathetic nervous system. Now this deals more with fight and flight. It's interesting to see because the sympathetic sits at the top of the head, just at the brainstem, and at the bottom near the coccyx, whereas all the other parasympathetic nerves run down the central line of the spine. So you can see these are kind of really fused together and actually have an enormously important effect on the body. Our fast-paced, on-demand world often prolongs stress and we can often feel really stuck in it. Now, we are naturally hardwired for threat. You know, this is part of our DNA. What actually happens when we perceive there's a potential threat is our heart rate quickens, our senses become much more acute, much sharper, and our focus becomes outwards. Now, in our world, that seems to be the reality we're living 24/7. We have very little inward focus, we have mainly outward focus. Now, what that means is your body is in constant high alert. It's not meant to be on high alert all the time. That fight and fight response is meant to be for times when you're really in danger and you need to have that extra energy and adrenaline and cortisol, not all the time. What we find now is people are in that state even when they're going to work, if they're stuck in a traffic jam, if they're going to an important meeting. Now, you have to understand that is actually an important function, but it has to be utilised in the right way. If it's constant and perpetual, you're going to feel like you're in overdrive all the time. This is why it's really, really important to regulate this function. Now, we've established the vagus nerve is like a messenger who's relaying information about the environment of the body from the organs to the brain. Now, that actually affects a lot of different functions in the body, from breathing to the heart rate to digestion to swallowing and stress responses. So you could see that when it's in dysregulation, it can have quite a detrimental effect on the body. So now I'm going to show you a few of those symptoms. I'm sure you're going to find some of them very familiar. So let's see how many you recognise. Okay, starting up around the throat. Let's think about it. You could have inner ear issues because the vagus nerve starts around here. You could also have a lot of issues with your throat, swallowing. Sometimes it can be to do with a very kind of weak tone in your voice. Have you ever felt that when your voice gets really thin? There's also that sense of having to clear your throat all the time. That can often happen when you're feeling very weak in this area. Then you can, going down into this heart area, there can be a sense of palpitations in the heart, feeling a little bit dizzy, feeling a little bit lightheaded, especially if you stand up too quickly. And in the abdomen, you can have a series of things like acid reflux, bloating in the stomach, sometimes even as you're eating your food, finding your stomach's really full after only maybe a few spoonfuls of food. You can also have cognitive issues where you might have impaired memory recall. You might feel a little bit foggy in the brain. Your eyes might get a little bit blurred. These are all dysregulations of the vagus nerve. When chronic stress takes hold, the body goes into a much higher gear. The mind races, the heart pounds, and the body surges with adrenaline and cortisol. And that's putting us at alert so that we can respond. The problem is when that is perpetuated and lasts too long, and we don't return to that calmer state, it can make us feel like we're stuck in overdrive. Now, there are many emotional symptoms that occur when we're in that overdrive state. You can, for example, feel very irritable, very jumpy. You can almost be on hyper alert, hyper vigilant, a little bit paranoid, dare I say. Also, the converse thing of that is you can feel very numb, a bit disassociated from your surroundings, feel a little bit out of your body, not 100% present. These are all signs of emotional dysregulation. And, you know, with that comes very, very low energy, and eventually can actually bring on quite a lot of anxiety and deep depression. So, again, this is another reason why it is so important to regulate your vagus nerves. Now, the thing that I find really interesting is there are this myriad of issues that happen, not singularly, but sometimes all at the same time. And most of the time, the way we're treating it is much more symptomatic. We'll say that's a digestive issue, that's a respiratory issue, but actually it's a vagus nerve issue. And once you start to understand that, you realize that you can actually do something about it. So what does it feel like to be more regulated? For me, it's like feeling a greater sense of support, of safety, of stability, and you feel it even in times of change where potentially you might have got stressed. I think it also means that often you gain more flexibility when moving from stress to calm. You feel more grounded. You have more of a sense of being not in control, but much more in balance. Now, where this takes me is to the idea of this regulation of the nervous system, how that kind of affects our sense of something greater, our sense of well-being and consciousness. I'd like to call that quantum well-being. And when you feel more grounded, when you feel more stable, you suddenly have this ability to step away from the linear belief systems and patterns that we get stuck into. And what that does is it leads us down a pathway into having a much more expanded view of life, a much more expansive perspective. Understanding the vagus nerve is the first part of the journey. But more importantly, the second part of the journey is how you regulate yourself. And I think sometimes you need a little bit of extra support. And that's the whole reason Quantum Alchemy and its products was created. So for the whole of August, I'm going to offer a 20% discount on all of our products, whether it's the physical products or our experiences, to you as a thank you for being part of my journey. Now the information is in the description below along with the code. So thank you for being part of my journey. From regulation, we create the potential for expansion. And in the next episode, we'll explore that potential further. I'm happy to say that there are several simple techniques and practices you can do to help with relaxation and regulating your nervous system. Some of them are things like breath work, different types of breath work, meditation, humming, actually cold water swimming helps, and other calming practices. You could also use essential oils alongside these practices, specifically oils like lavender, fir needle and chamomile. So on that note, I'd like you to get comfortable because we're going to do a meditation using some of those techniques. Okay, let's begin. So finding yourself a comfortable space, either sit down on a chair, cross-legged, or even lie down. Just make sure you've got really good comfort in the sense of putting cushions under your knees, having a cushion behind your lower back, so nothing can distract you. So we're going to start with a couple of deep breaths and sighs just to release any tension in the body. So breathing in. We're just going to pause at the top for a few seconds, and as you exhale, just sigh it out. Breathing in again. Hold. Big sigh out, letting go of any tension in the shoulders. Breathing in again. Another big sigh, letting the shoulders go again. This time we're going to breathe in and we're going to yawn it out. And as you do that, really stretch your jaw, release any tension held around that big muscle in your mouth. Breathe in. Another big release through the jaw, yawning it out. Oh, make some noise. Just express yourself. Breathing in again, this time. Just sighing it out and letting go of any residual tension you might feel. Feel it like it's dropping or being poured into the earth. This time, as you breathe in through your nose, hold the breath for a second. I want you to bring your lips together so it looks like you're sipping through a straw, and you're just going to blow the breath out really slowly. Breathe in, hold the breath, and again breathing as though you're blowing it through a straw. As you do this, breathing in, holding the breath, Start to extend the exhale, so breathing out, breathing in again, hold a breath, blowing out through the mouth. This time as you breathe in, you're going to allow your belly to fill up with air. And as you blow it out, you're going to allow your belly to fall back towards your spine. Breathe in again. Belly fills up. Hold a breath. And then breathing out, blowing through your straw. Your belly collapses back towards the spine. If you can hear any noises of cars, don't worry about it. It's just life going on. Just let go, recognize it's there, and then just let go again and get back into your rhythm. Breathing in. Holding the breath and then just blowing it out, and this gentle undulation of your belly as you breathe in. Hold it at the fullest and then you exhale and the belly falls back to the spine. And now we're going to transition. As you breathe in the next time, you're going to bring your lips together and we're going to start vibrating with our voices. So we're going to hum, and you're going to breathe in, hold a breath, and then bringing your lips together, humming. Breathing in again. Hold a breath and breathing out. Breathe in again. Hold the breath. As you're humming out, feel the vibration, how it's moving in your throat, in your chest. Breathing in again. And breathing out. The next time we're going to breathe in, and this time we're going to take it into a deeper tone, as though it's around your belly and your hips, coming from the base of your spine. And as you breathe out, breathe in and hold. So really connect with the vibration of your voice box around your body. Feel it breaking up old stagnant energy. Breathing in. With the next breath, you're going to make your hum even longer. So breathing in, and as you breathe out, don't force it. When you run out of breath, you run out of breath. Breathing in again, bit lower. Let's take one more breath in, and as you exhale, let's make this the longest breath yet. with the next breath, you're just going to take it to the end, let it dissolve and transition into just breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. Breathing in for the last time. Transition to breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Your eyes are relaxed. You can feel them heavy, all the tension moving from the eye socket, from your forehead, from your cheeks, from your jaw. Everything just releasing and relaxing. Your throat relaxing as you breathe in and you breathe out. Just feeling that sensation of the breath as it goes in through the nose and as it is released through the exhale out of your nose. Notice the temperature of the breath as it goes in and the temperature as you exhale. Feeling the rise and the fall of your chest. Just a lovely soft interplay, just feeling the dance of your body as it takes in energy and as it releases what it doesn't need anymore. Breathing in and breathing out. And then just return to a natural breathing and just be still and silent for a few moments. And then just gently start moving your fingertips, just rubbing them. Moving your toes and your feet, just wagging your feet from side to side, and with your arms just rotating your wrists, and then just rubbing your forearms, and then rubbing the tops of your arms and your shoulders, and then just shaking it all out, and then gently open your eyes. Thank you for sharing this time with me. I'll see you in the next episode, and bye for now.